Anything with 12 volt has to have about a 30-second cycle to be shut off before it'll actually power itself down. They got little capacitors inside of them that hold a charge for a while, so you can't just shut it off and then turn it back on because it didn't give enough time for it to reset itself.
So you wait 30 seconds in between attempts.
Yep, if it fails to light. It'll try to light 3 times. If it fails to light, try it one more time. If it does, then check your propane, see if you have enough propane, propane valves on and whatnot.
Okay.
Anything like that if it does fail to ignite twice.
Okay.
So, other than that, you can leave it running while you're driving down the road. If it fails to ignite, it'll just lock itself out. It'll be perfectly safe.
Okay, so if it goes out...
Here's your water pump and water filter down here. Water filter here, this is obviously your water pump.
Okay.
We'll get back to your monitor panel in a second. I'll show you where that. This is your converter charger. This is what charges your battery. And what these do, along with charging the batteries, the more lights you turn on, the more amps this goes and kicks up, so it keeps the batteries at always fully charged, and then takes the load of the house at the same time. So it's not feeding off your batteries while you're plugged in. So it's not an inefficient system. So the more stuff you turn in, the faster this fan will turn, so you'll know it'll get louder.
Okay.
So just kind of keep that in mind as normal operation for this. If you turn on every single light like we do now, you hear the fan run, and if you turn off all the lights, the fan will shut off. So it's working normally. Transfer switch. One thing to always keep in mind, never have it plugged in and run the generator at the same time. What happens is you have the generator power coming in, then you got your shore power coming in, and they hit each other and it's a direct short. So it burns this box up. So they're about 100 to 150 bucks if you do burn them up, but just make sure you never run the generator while you're plugged in. So always do a double check before you go anywhere. Do that. So it doesn't usually ever cause any damage to anything else, but it usually just fries that guy really quick.
Okay. A petcock here looks like.
Yep, that's the drain for the water tank. So you drain your water tank right there.
All right. So that just drains below the.
Yep, it's just got a pipe that goes straight down in the ground.
Okay. Okay. And then how often do you have to change your water filter?
Pretty much just once a year. You don't really ever use it enough to actually make it run out. I don't recommend storing them for the winter and reusing them, so that's why I just say once a year. Every season you start up and you go to summarize it, go ahead and put all your water through and get all your antifreeze purged out and whatnot, and then put a brand new filter after you got all the antifreeze purged out, and then you're good to go for the rest of the year. Then when you go to winterize it, pull it out, discard it, put all your antifreeze through it, and then always use RV antifreeze. It's non-toxic propylene glycol. So it's purple or pink. You'll see either. Pretty much all the lines you're going to see are going to be PEX. They're going to have flare fittings and whatnot. If they do freeze or something, they're very tough. Usually the only thing that breaks if you freeze an entire unit, hopefully your water heater doesn't freeze, but your water heater tank will break, and then sometimes it'll break the faucets in the kitchens. So very rarely have I seen when an entire unit freezes really hard that it breaks every single water line. You got a catastrophe. So then you got your propane tank right there. So pretty much this is just your manual on and off. You got your regulator behind here, so you got an extra set of keys if you want to leave these here if you don't. So I don't think that does have a gauge right here.
Yeah, it's quarter full.
So have any questions with that?
Is filling?
That's your fill cap.
Yeah,
propane guy will take it off. He'll take care of all that. So other than that, just got exit outlets. This is an outside shower. It uses your small round key like on your keychain, so they don't really work great. It's great for kids if you want to take a shower outside.
Right. Wonder what this was.
TV holder.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, if you want to buy a little TV and you can put it outside, plug it in. Backside of your refrigerator here, everything's pretty well self-contained. That element's back in here that I was telling you about for the 110 element. If it ever does, they rarely ever do have issues. So I don't want to alarm you, but if it doesn't work on electricity, just turn it on gas, and then you can run it on gas, and you don't lose all your perishables or all your food.
Until you get it fixed.
So, but other than that, it's pretty well self-contained. There's really nothing that, as far as maintenance or nothing, you pretty much leave it alone. If it starts having issues, give me a call and I can walk you through a couple things. So pretty much the only thing that blows them, if something you plug in is faulty or if you plug in a heater, that's pretty much the two things that blow.
That's where it's going to go. And pulls too many amps or something.
Yep. Well, it goes on microamps because like if you drop a hair dryer in there, because you know like 0.6 milliamps will kill you. So it's really, really sensitive. So that's why when you put a big heater, an incandescent heater, it's just a direct short, and that's why it messes with those so fast. So that's why I just tell people that in case you do plug in an electric heater to those outlets, that will trip really soon before it'll ever trip the normal breakers. It's just designed to keep you safe in case you drop something in the water and had your hand in the water too. So. Here in the corner, there's a little toggle switch. Let's see if I can get make sure it's on or off, but basically this is your electric side. You got an electric element right here in the bottom. So you got the gas I showed you on the inside, and that turns this stuff on here, so you can run it on gas. Then this switch here, when you get it all summarized, I'll get my finger out of there, sorry. You see it?
Right here, right up in here. Yep.
When you get it completely full of water, you can turn the toggle switch to on, and just go and leave it on. Anytime you plug it in, it'll automatically turn on. So unless you don't want it to, then you come out here and just shut it off. Or you can use the breaker on the inside.
And that's just for the heating element?
That's just for the 110 side.
The electrical heating.
Yeah.
And this is your drain, looks like?
Drain and anode rod is made out of magnesium, so calcium attracts to it. Then the calcium sticks to the rod instead of building up inside your tank.
So do you pitch this every once in a while then?
When you start seeing it, because there's a little metal rod on the inside that they forge everything to. So when you start seeing it hitting all the way down to that metal rod, then you change them out. So other than that, you can reuse them for...
And is this something you can get anywhere too?
Yeah, any RV dealership will have those. Leave this unattended. If you leave the hose in there, the hose will actually fill the tank faster, then it can evaporate back out and it'll burst the tank.
That's not good.
So fill it, stay there until it's full. You'll hear it start gurgling out of the corner there. When it starts gurgling, shut the water off immediately and pull it out.
So you'll blow up your tank.
Sewer. Got the
valve
here. So I have to... Valves on the other side for the gray tank, so I'll have to show you that. This is your black tank. Big one's always black, little one's always gray. So gray soapy water, black's toilet. So, but the other one, you can see it on the other side, kind of peeking out there in the bottom. That's where the little one is. So, city water. This will not fill your tank. All this does is pressurize the water system when you're at a campground or at your house and whatnot. Use a pressure regulator, regulated at 55 psi.
So you hook, I think we used to have one for...
The little brass water pressure regulators. The reason why the water pump can only handle 55 psi, so if you exceed that, it breaks the diaphragm in the pump. And then it'll start back feeding and filling your water tank up. So. And other than that...
And there's the hose for dumping.
Got a compartment. Got the outside of the generator here. If you pull this cover off, there's another start-stop button in here. So if for some reason the monitor panel doesn't work, you can come out here and start it if you pull this panel off.
So if the generator is kind of not working, what is the first thing that you have to do maintenance-wise normally?
If it doesn't start and has starting issues, I got a cleaner that's designed for ethanol. These carburetors are really small because they don't get used very much. The ethanol actually crystallizes in the carburetors, and it'll actually start gumming them up. I don't see them too much in the newer ones, but the middle ones that weren't designed to run with ethanol, it starts having problems with. But if you turn it on and it's running and you have no power, check your breakers. Make sure your breakers are turned on.
I mean that the engine's not running.
The engine's not starting. Pretty much, if it goes to a fail mode, come out here and try to start it out here. If it fails to start, this will start blinking. Then you just go ahead and count the blinks. You'll count like 5 or 6 times, and it'll pause. 1 blink, pause, 5 or 6 blinks, or whatever the sequence is. Write it down. You can actually get on Google and type in ON fault codes, and it'll tell you. It'll say if you're over cranking it, or if it has no fuel pressure or whatnot. It'll give you a basic idea what could be wrong with it. It's not a foolproof system, but it'll give you a basic idea. So, but I already ran this one before I was plugged in. I had it outside. I did the full PDI on the generator, so generator works great. These are air cooled, so you don't have to worry about coolant or nothing like that. So other than that, I can't remember. I think it's 100 hours for service. For changing your oil, I believe, on the owner's manual. I'll read the exact owner's manual.
Do you know how many hours was on this?